Hello everyone and welcome to the NinjaTrader Ecosystem Webinar Room. My name is Tiffany and I work for NinjaTrader in our Denver office. We have a very special event for you today with Joel of Affordable Indicators. I would like to mention that it is important to understand that there are substantial risks in trading commodity futures, contracts, and Forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you and will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and could even incur losses beyond these amounts. Please inquire at the link provided for more information or for a copy of the CFTC full risk disclosure. Also, please remember that these training webinars are not a solicitation nor a recommendation, but simply education in nature. This presentation is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is a technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. NinjaTrader ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find the tools and services you're looking for with a simple keyword search. You'll also find information about upcoming webinars and on-demand video archive to view event recordings at the link below. Also, if you are active on social media, please ensure to like or follow us for the best way to get updates on all things NinjaTrader ecosystem. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy, backtesting, and trade stimulation. To ensure you are on the latest version of NinjaTrader and pick up a free live data trial, please visit the following link. You can purchase or lease NinjaTrader at the following link. And if you are just starting with NinjaTrader, we offer free live training on a daily basis. You can view a schedule of weekly webinars at the following link. We are very excited for this unique event in which Joel will demonstrate his latest support and resistant indicators and entry methods resulting from years of experience in customer software development. Thanks again for your attendance today, and without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader webinar room, Joel. Please take it away, Joel.
All right, how's everyone doing? Thank you, Tiffany, and I see already, I want to interact with you guys. I already see Ari D saying that he's looking for an affordable indicator, in quotes, so that's hilarious. I appreciate that, Ari. I hope that my products can be affordable for you. I've actually been thinking about wanting to rebrand my business, but I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, guys, feel free to type your questions in, but it might be best to save your questions until the end because we're going to set aside some time for that. So again, I just want to thank Tiffany. She's put up with a lot over the last month of trying to get me ready for this thing. And I don't know why that I still procrastinate in life. I feel like I should have grown out of that by now, but you know, it's just one of those things. But I feel ready and I'm excited to be here for you guys, and I'm so grateful for NinjaTrader. So a few things about me. I've basically been writing code on the NinjaTrader platform since college. And I got to hit this next slide. I just turned 34 on Tuesday, so I'm getting into my mid-30s. But yes, generally, again, have a lot to be thankful for with the NinjaTrader platform. I graduated from Taylor University with a business management and finance degree. And as I just said, can't be thankful enough for Ninja. I've basically been developing software on the platform since I graduated from college. So yeah, looking at my journey, just real briefly, it was a Sunday morning, just kind of laying around and saw a TV infomercial. And a few weeks later, my dad and I ended up in a hotel meeting room seminar, which is hilarious, right? So one thing leads to another, and you know, you get started looking at stocks, then options, and then futures, and at some point, probably in a webinar just like this, learned about NinjaTrader and where I started developing my own ideas. So here we are. A few more things. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're from Atlanta, email me. I would love to meet up and hang out, so just let me know about that. I grew up in Ohio, moved to Atlanta in 2009. I have a house here in Atlanta in the suburbs with 3 roommates, and I've never been married. A couple more things that are important to me that I want to share. Just little things here, but I have a Tesla Model 3 Performance, so it's just kind of a thing that I enjoy. It was my first car. I've never bought a new car until this car, and just a few pictures of that. Here is the car at the supercharger here in Buford, Georgia. And then here's a picture driving straight through the city of Atlanta on I-75. So I know what you guys are thinking, and I'm thinking the same thing. If anyone in this room has a Tesla, certainly you can buy the indicators, right? Because Tesla owners have lots of money. So if you're in here and you own a Tesla, buy the indicators. Just kidding. Actually, it's not true. I always tell people this car was just a really bad financial decision. So anyways, just a joke for you guys. But lastly, about me, what's important to me is my church. So here in Atlanta, yeah, there's a lot of traffic in Atlanta, but I guess that must have been on the weekend when I took that picture. Important to me is my church, which is Passion City Church. So this is like a picture of the inside of our church. Something that's important to me is my church community. That light bulb wall that you see there has 2,265 bulbs, which is important because I'm a math guy and I think about numbers. And yeah, I just really believe that Jesus is important in my life and God has gifted me in unique ways. And so one of those ways is for analysis and programming. So I love it so much. Just love what I do. So now we'll move on into some more thoughts about futures trading. So I just want to be real with you guys. I want to be honest. This is really for my own personal reinforcement more than anything, because I want to be accountable. I take this seriously, and I'm with you guys in chasing success in futures trading. So I can't really convince you guys to trust me. All I can do is be real, transparent. So the first thing I want to say is that futures trading is difficult. If it was easy, everyone would do it, right? So I've had some success, some challenges. I'm still learning. Generally, I've lost money or broke even over the years. You know, you have good weeks, bad weeks, things like that. But right now, as I said before, I'm more serious than ever about figuring this out. Second thing, it's difficult. It requires confidence. So I was just going to be honest with you guys here. Like, you have to believe in yourself and your ability to see the markets. And I want that for you guys. Generally, throughout my 20s, like I said, I'm 34 now, I haven't been the most confident person. I've even been working with my therapist to understand my history and know myself so that I can step into opportunities with more confidence. Great book, Jacob. I actually have that one sitting here as well. Thanks for sharing that. And ultimately, like I said before, my confidence and my hope is in Jesus. And when I see that, I think that things can shift, and I know that anything is possible, including trading futures. So the third thing is discipline. Guys, like I said, I've never been married, generally haven't been the most disciplined guy in life. I have a single life. I've got lots of freedom. Being self-employed has its challenges. Writing software on NinjaTrader is great. Income, it's easy. So generally I don't need income. So yeah, the discipline is important in trading. So I think the path to success for me is studying, being up early, putting in the time and the work. And lately, I've been more and more into this, setting my alarm, being up, being ready, being alert, trying to learn, put time into my own ideas. So it's good times right now. I'm in the best days, I believe. Right now as a 34-year-old. And the last point is, after it's difficult, it requires confidence, it requires discipline. Lastly, I want to add, it's the dream, right? So we're all here for that, right? My goal is to trade futures for a living. That's why I'm working on these indicators. I'm not trying to sell you guys these indicators. In fact, like, if you look at my website, I have not offered many products over the years, mainly because I'm overly analytical and I want to make sure my clients are getting something of value. And so if I want to sell you something, my integrity is in the line, but I do want you to be in this with me. I want you guys to be successful and share in my success. And I think these indicators are truly some of the best tools for the NinjaTrader platform. So thanks for listening to that. We'll get into the indicators now. I've got my timer going. We have about 20 minutes left to go over my indicators, and then we'll do some Q&A again. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Hopefully we can chat at some point again. You guys just reach out via Skype, email, and you can find that on my website. or give me a call or text me. I want to get to know some of you guys, so feel free to reach out. So let's get into it. I believe the path to success is through support and resistance. So this is going to be an overview of how I see support and resistance. And the first thing that I see is that you have to know the price action history. And I'll have an indicator for that. Thanks, Steve. I'll have an indicator for that. So looking at the price action history, we need to see where the price reversals have already occurred. We're going to do that through the swing indicator, through the zigzag indicator, or through any kind of minute bars. And we'll get into more detail. But the second thing I want to do with support and resistance is I want to know the key levels. So I want to see what is commonly watched by other traders, right? Because the market moves through buying and selling. So if the market moves through buying and selling, I want to know when this is happening. I want to know what is triggering it, and I want to go along with what's happening. I want to go along with moves and the orders from other traders. So we want to see what other traders are want to do with support and resistance is to know a precise entry. So this is the last thing of the overview here of how to trade support resistance from my perspective, but you have to have an entry. So you could use any existing entry system and filter the trades based on knowing the price action history and knowing the key levels, or you can, I will offer to you guys in the bundle today an indicator that plots signals to buy and sell. So that's the plan. Now we're going to actually look at the indicators. So the first indicator is going to have to do with knowing the price action history. So I'll go ahead and advance the slide. And I'm calling it the price action confluence indicator. So this indicator is going to compile a list of all high and low prices. And you can select from swing, zigzag, or some kind of minute bars, your choice. And then through that, you're going to know exactly how many times each price was hit. And then after it calculates that and combines those levels, it's going to take the hits and combine them into the most powerful zones. And then you're going to be able to see statistics and other details for each zone. So the best way to do that is just to go ahead and look at the indicator. And you can adjust the inputs, obviously. So I'm going to jump over to screen sharing. So I need to know now, this is the first time we're doing this, if you guys can see my screen. So someone just give me a yes. You should be able to see my screen. Great, Tony. Thank you. Tony, Jacob, Carlos, Jeff, Patrick, thank you guys. All right, so we're looking at the price action confluence indicator here. So this indicator has taken 60-minute bars from the NQ. So hopefully you guys are familiar with the NASDAQ futures. That's the market I'm kind of choosing to highlight today. And we're looking at today's data. So it's taken the 60-minute bars and combined all the highs and lows. So the high and low of this bar, high and low of this bar, high and low of this bar, so on and so forth, into levels. So here we can see as I mouse over a level, I can see here at this level we have 15 hits inside this level. And the last hit was on Monday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And the balance is 88%. So the balance, what that means is 100% is going to mean it's equal highs and lows. 0% would mean it's all highs or all lows, if that makes sense. So in this case, we have a high balance, which means it's almost equal highs and equal lows, which, in my opinion, makes the level stronger, versus if we had only highs or only lows that make up a level. So you can see the different percentages here. Also, this indicator is going to plot different colors based on the time. So if it's a gray level, and these colors can be changed, but if it's a gray level, can't see the pointer. You know, Tiffany told me about this. I think I can actually, what I'm going to do is just turn on the crosshair. Okay, so you can see here as I'm over this level, the gray levels, the last hit was over a week ago. The blue levels would be within the last week. And then there's also another color which we can't see right now, but a bright blue level is going to be within the last 2 days. So as we scroll backward throughout the day, you can see, again, we had some huge moves today. So obviously with any support and resistance, the market's going to slice through at times. But you can see the bright blue levels were hit within the last 2 days. Any gray level was hit within the last, on the chart itself. And any darker blue levels, such as these here, were hit within the last week. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the inputs for this, and then we'll move on to the next one. But here you have the calculation mode. So like I said, bars, swing, or zigzag. And I'm selecting bars right now, so we're using 60-minute bars. The minimum hits to create a zone. The minimum balance, which I set to 0, which we talked about balance. Minimum height, so the width of the confluence zone in ticks, and then the minimum space between the zones. So you can change the width of the zone, and again, the indicator is kind of like doing a loop through all the prices and combining them to create these zones where the market has hit the most times. You can also filter out. So if you only want to look at, say, highs and lows from 9:30, I mean, let's just do 7:30 to the end of the day, and we'll hit OK. I'll just see how it changes it, but see how it changes it. So if you think only the highs and lows during the real day are what matter during the regular trading hours, you can actually adjust that. So we can see here, I wanted to point this out too. The levels vary in width, right? So this level you can see is a little bit thinner. Then, oh look, the market just blowing right through all my levels. That's a great sales tactic right there. Anyways, you guys know that when the market opens at 4:30, it's crazy. All right, the numbers next to the percentage are the number of hits. So maybe I didn't say that, but like this level here has 9 hits, 7 hits, 6 hits, so on and so forth. I'm just going to scroll backwards because obviously nobody's going to trade on this open necessarily. The levels do change in width. You can see here this one's thinner, fatter. So again, those inputs are basically the maximum width. If the indicator can tighten a level based on where the price actually hit, it's going to tighten a level and make it thinner and more accurate to reflect where price is actually hitting. Like right here, we have a 2. We had 2 hits at this level right here. So at basically the same price, or maybe 1 tick off, so the indicator just created a level, a real tight level right there, which was effective here and here. Anyways, all right, so hopefully that's an overview. Honestly, we need to keep moving. I can't give you guys every single detail about this indicator. I'm going to create some YouTube videos that you can go learn about it in more advance. Tiffany's helping you guys with the sound. So let's get back to the slides. And again, we're going to go into, if I go back, actually we're just going to go into the next indicator. So the next indicator is related to the key levels. So with this indicator, what we want to do is get the most well-known and watched daily calculations. So like I said, we're trying to see what other traders are seeing. We want to know that because we want to know where the buying and selling is occurring so we can go along with what's most likely to happen. So we're going to go ahead and then track these numbers over the last several days, automatically combine everything into zones, and then you can also see exactly what details make up each zone. So let's go ahead and look at the key levels confluence indicator. So I'll switch back to screen sharing. All right. So this indicator, to be honest with you guys, isn't exactly as complete as I wanted it to be, but I think it's still amazing. And I'm still going to continue working on it, but here's what it's got. So we're going to start, I'm going to start this demonstration. These are some buttons. This is the indicator here. We're going to start with just showing the open, high, low, and close. And I'm going to stretch this out. So now, once we turn that on, we have yesterday's high, low, open, and close. So if we just scroll quickly, we can see that yesterday's high was effective, okay? Here it blew through it, but again, you know, it's not always going to be perfect. Yesterday's close on the open had some effect. All right, anyways, so going back to hard right edge, the next thing we're going to turn on is the Fibonacci. So we go ahead and draw some Fibonacci based on the high and the low. So the first thing you'll notice is we have the middle value right between the high and the low. We've got the 786 retracements and then some extensions above and below the high and the low. So again, I'm not going to scroll back to the chart, but these are kind of tested methods you can find on Google, and things that people look for and draw when they're trying to lay out a roadmap for the market. So this is all based on yesterday's daily bar, essentially, the extended trading hours daily bar. The next thing we'll add is the pivots. So once we add the pivots, we can see the pivot point and the R1s above and the R levels above, the support levels below. And so now we have all these values from yesterday's candlestick. So as we scroll backwards, we'll see there's the R1 coming into play. These extensions, again, I'm not sure how valid they are, but you can turn every detail on and off in the indicator. So here we have a 786 with a close, which will end up being a zone when I turn the zones on. Okay, so let's just go back to hard right edge. The last part of this indicator is the history. So once we click this button, we get a whole plethora of levels. So the number to the right of the level tells you how many days back it is. So for example, I'm going to turn my crosshair on because I know you guys can't see. But like right here, we have the high from 2 days ago. Here we have the high from 3 days ago, the high from 4 days ago, the close from 4 days ago. So you guys get the point, right? The midpoint from 8 days ago. So we have all these levels coming into play here. And the last step with this indicator is to turn on the zones. And again, one idea that I need to implement is to have this text appear and disappear as you run your mouse over it, instead of showing all these labels. But you can just turn the labels off to kind of declutter the chart. Anyways, so the last part is to show the zones. So when we show the zones, now what we have is the areas where more than one factor comes into play. And again, I'm not cherry picking price action. I'm just giving you guys the concept of what I have here. This is today's price action. Then you can see if I run my mouse over this level, we have the 786 high from yesterday and the low from 8 days ago. And then here we have some factors here, here, the midpoint of 3 days ago and the close of 3 days ago. So again, as we scroll through here, we did find some support in these levels over lunch. And then obviously we have the China news this afternoon, things like that. So I need to move on, guys, but hopefully that's a quick overview of that one. And again, we'll be putting out a YouTube video with more details. So I'm thinking, looking at the time, I have about 10 minutes left. I think Tiffany, we got started a few minutes late. So I'm going to jump forward to the last indicator that I'm offering you guys today, which is the first touch indicator. So the concept here is to create a signal indicator that's based on support and resistance. David, I'll guess your question quick. When the zones are turned on. Yes, sir. Yeah, you can see zone history. So all my indicators are going to be able to scroll backwards, and you can actually track the performance of how they work. So you can go back and study this. See yesterday's zones, the day before zones. Correct, David. When the zones are recalculated, yes. The answer to your question is yes. Anyways. Yes, Forex, it should work with any markets. I'm focusing on futures, but yes, Forex, there should be no problems there. I can review charts with you if you'd like that. CL, we'll look at that. All right, I'm going to keep moving, guys. We'll have time for questions at the end. So what we're doing here with the first touch is, again, it's focused on support resistance. We're going to choose a commonly watched chart type. So again, I'm looking at a 1-minute chart here because we're going to look at a moving average. So you guys are probably thinking, man, this guy's an idiot. Like, what do moving averages have value for me? Well, moving averages, to me, the biggest value is not necessarily a crossover or the slope or anything else. They have value more than anything as support and resistance. So, that being said, because other traders are watching them, we believe that the market is going to react to them. So how this indicator is going to work is we're going to count bars above or below the moving average, and you'll see this on a chart here in a second. And we're going to expect the moving average to be respected on the first touch. And we can also utilize a secondary time frame to filter the signals, but I won't really get into that today. So now I'm going to jump back to the screen sharing. And the first thing I'm going to do is just show you guys this screen with no signals. So this screen is the NQ. So I'm going to scroll back to, and I've got, the indicator also has some background filtering, so hopefully you can see the navy blue. I'm not sure if it shows up through the webinar, but 9:30 is the open right here. So you can see how the market spiked up pre-market, and where did it find support? Found support right at these averages. Now I'm going to tell you guys what these are. There's no secrets in any of my indicators. The calculations are all completely out there for you guys. So this is a 20 EMA, and this is another indicator which I'll give you guys if you purchase the bundle. So you get 4 indicators, but this indicator is actually a multi-time frame indicator for plotting moving averages. So this cloud is actually the 20 and the 50 EMA from a 5-minute chart. So anyways, we had this morning, and obviously it doesn't always work, guys, but this morning we found support right here at the 5-minute 20 and 50 EMA, along with the 20 EMA of the 1 minute. And it bounced straight up. I'm thinking if I can take that trade, dang. And I'm not saying I did. Although I wanted to show you guys, I actually took a few trades this morning. If I can get them to show, yeah, right here. This trades button comes with the indicator too. Took a short here for 3 points and another short here for 1 point. But I haven't traded in like a month, so I was pretty gun shy. Anyways, I thought that was cool. So I'm going to miss futures. So we need to wrap up in 5 minutes. But this is how this works, guys. So just take a look. We're just going to scroll through and watch. What happens here? Support, right? Clear support for a trade right there. Again, support, 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 bounce. Some point the market has to reverse, right? So you just kind of scroll here. Obviously, you know, if you bought here, it's a loser. You bought here, it's a loser, right? Doesn't always work. These 5-minute EMAs didn't hold much of anything. And then it becomes resistance. Okay, and obviously I got wild with China, guys. But I'm just going through today's price action because that's what we're doing. I'm not going to do anything else. The other day we came back right into the little area here between the 20 and the 50 of the 5-minute EMAs and bounced. Same thing right here. No one trades at 4 o'clock anyways, but I'm just saying right here it bounced. So now we'll go back to the beginning of the day and we'll turn on the signals. So the signals can be turned on right here at the top of the chart. So hit this button. Now we've got our signals, and we can also draw the exit. So this indicator that comes with the bundle is called the first touch indicator. And again, it's just plotting signals. There's no automated trading involved here, although I plan to develop it that way. That's not included today. You're just getting an indicator for plotting purposes and just experimenting, adding it to charts, looking at the signals. So why does this say buy 32? Because you're buying in the 32nd bar after it moved above. So here's bar 1, right? Because it's the first bar this would be a touch, but here's bar 1, 32 bars later, you got the signal. And you hit target 1 and 2. Here, you got a signal. Also hit target 1 and 2. These targets, thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. He says, I love this one. These targets are based on an ATR. So I'll go through the settings here in a second. I want to wrap up here in about 4 minutes. I'm going to go through the settings real quick with you guys so you can see it. But the targets automatically adjust based on the ATR of the chart that you're on. So I think that's pretty cool too. So another buy. Again, I'm going through the whole chart, guys. Loser, right? Can't expect every trade's going to win. Here we did get a winner on this sell. So what do we have so far? 3 winners and 1 loser. This was a loser. I mean, just technically, right? Again, we haven't optimized this. We haven't done anything. Loser, loser. So 3 losers, 3 winners. And then, wow, if that's a real trade, that's a sweat. 1 tick from getting stopped out, okay? So 4 winners and 3 losers in the NQ 1 minute charts. Again, this can be put on so many charts, guys, and I don't think I have time to go through the rest of these. Maybe in the question and answer we can take a look. But yeah, buy 17, again, the 17th bar, buy 19, the 19th bar. Hopefully you guys got the point of what that means. Sell 42 is the 42nd bar is when it hit. Yes, there's audio alerts, Jacob, on the signals as well. So let's look at the settings real quick, and then we need to get to the offer. So we have a couple minutes to do that. So again, moving average period, moving average type. So you can go from basically these default EMA or moving averages that are included in the NinjaTrader platform. Bar count minimum. So how many bars do I have to have before I'm allowed to take a signal? And there's also a maximum. So if you say after 20 bars, I don't want to signal anymore, you can set it to 20, and you'll only take the touch between 8 and 20 bars. Hopefully that makes sense. Time filter should be self-explanatory. Secondary trend, can't really get into that, but just allows you to look at the trend of higher time frames. And then here's your exit orders. Like I said, this is all adjustable via ATR. So you can adjust where the targets are displaying based on the ATR with a multiplier. Again, I'm gonna do YouTube videos. I said this a bunch with going through this in more detail, but this gives you the idea of the complexity of this and the time and effort that's put into this. So here's the arrows, background color options, and then here's your audio options. So, all right, I'm just going to cancel out of that. So that's the last indicator for you guys. And just the idea, I mean, the main idea here, guys, is support and resistance includes moving averages. And if I had a gun to my head and someone said, man, you got to figure this out tomorrow, I'm telling you guys, these are the tools I would use and I would look at, and I would probably put my head into writing a strategy too, so I can really test the performance of these as well. So wrapping up today, thank you guys for your time. Honestly, I know you guys could be doing a million other things. Here's my offer for you guys today. So depends on what you guys are interested in. The price action confluence indicator, which I'm planning to list at $6.95, I will do that today for $4.95. The key level confluence indicator, which was the second indicator that I showed with all the daily key levels, also will do for $4.95, and I'm planning to list it at $6.95. Same thing with the first touch indicator. And that indicator I'm actually not going to sell individually today. So your choices today are either the price action confluence indicator for $4.95, the key level confluence indicator for $4.95, or a bundle of all 3 indicators for $9.95. And actually it's 4 indicators now because, like I said, I'm going to include that cloud, that higher time frame EMA cloud that I was showing with and you can change the settings, but I was showing a 5-minute, 20, and 50 EMA with that EMA cloud. So really 4 indicators is what you're getting today. And the thing that I really want to invite you guys into is, and this will be the first time I've done this, and like I said over the years, just lack of discipline, confidence, or different things, I haven't really taken the effort to lead something like this. But I want to invite the first 20, and I'm changing it to 50 because I believe that we'll get 50. Dave, yeah, I remember for sure your name, Dave. I really appreciate you saying that. I've done a bunch of custom programming work for Dave. So I want to invite the first 20, and I'm increasing that to 50 to collaborate with me. So I'm going to create a Skype chat, and all of us that purchase will be able to communicate with one another and collaborate on these indicators. And these indicators I'm planning to develop a lot further than what they are currently developed. So I've got some framework in place, and I want to keep developing them out, doing more research, and really just trying to slice the market in the best way possible and users to collaborate with me. And that's one-on-one too. Guys, you can contact me, submit your ideas for new features, and we'll continue developing these indicators. But it's also in a group, right? So I want to build a community where we can trade together, where we can kind of study support and resistance and just collaborate on ideas. Yeah, that's my offer. Oh, there we go. So this is the page where you guys will go to take me up on this. And I was making a joke about about Tiffany pushing me to get ready for this thing, and I honestly don't have any YouTube videos or images of these indicators on my website yet. This is literally the first time I've shown any of these indicators is today in this webinar. So I'm planning to hopefully over the weekend and next week get some more YouTube videos out there in more detail for you guys or for everyone to see. But literally the only page that I have right now is this offer page where you can move forward. So I think that wraps it up. Again, if you guys purchase, I do need to leave for the evening. I have a big men's event at my church, so I'm going to leave immediately after this to head to that. But I would love for you guys to purchase and move forward, and I'll make sure to have everything ready and over to you by the end of Friday, or during the day on Friday, really. And that's what you can expect. So also, just as a reminder, if you're in Atlanta, please email me, and I would love to potentially meet up, especially if you buy the indicators. Thank you, Tiffany, for posting that. So anyone that has questions, I think we have about 10 minutes left to do some questions. So go ahead and fire away, and I'll answer as many as I can. Peter, thank you. I don't know if you guys can read. Tiffany, can they read what's being said here? But thank you, Peter, for saying that. So again, guys, while I'm waiting on your questions, I have been in custom software development for a while, and I'm really trying to transition my business into futures trading for a living. Like I said, that's my dream, but then also developing products that are for sale. I'm sure, Peter, you were a great client, but I would like to get away from doing custom projects and into just having products that are for sale and really ultimately just trading futures for a living. So Peter says highly recommended. Thanks, my man.
And to confirm, Joel,
you guys have other questions? I think Tiffany was trying to say something. Go ahead, Tiffany.
And to confirm, everybody can see the messages now. So anything that comes in from now on, everybody will be able to see.
All right, yeah, fire away, guys. Anything and everything. Tony, yes. So what I'm planning to do, now if there's any other new indicators that are introduced, there could be additional costs, but the general concepts of the price action confluence that I demonstrated and the key level confluence that I've demonstrated today and the first touch indicator only, so not a strategy but just the indicator, all future updates will be included. So that means, in a Skype chat as we're collaborating, everything that we do to enhance the indicators or change them, etc., will just get released as a new update to you guys. Obviously, Chris B has a question. Did you put a question mark in there? But obviously, Tony, like, I mean, if I develop like 20 indicators and different things like that, not everything's just going to be included for the rest of your life. But like I said, generally these, yeah, these 3 indicators. Yes, Chris, it is recorded. Tiffany has been taking care of that, and I'm sure she'll get the email out to you guys with the recording. Yeah, Jacob. I mean, that's definitely the plan, for sure. You know, I mean, right now, you know, the bundle is $9.95, so that's what I would recommend. But feel free to email me, and if that's something that you need. Thanks, I appreciate it. Looking through my notes, seeing if there's anything else I wanted to say here. Just waiting for you guys to pop in with more questions if you have anything. So yeah, just I guess I'll start to head toward a wrap up and pass it back to Tiffany. But again, thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I would love to invite you guys to come along with me. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, and I also want to, and I also do want to say thank you to Bob Amico. He's a partner of mine. I've been writing some software for him. It's veritasfuturestrading.com. And we've been kind of partners in some different products and stuff. So I do want to thank Bob. I'm very grateful for him and his partnership with me as the programmer and things like that. Stephen, I wish you could see last names, but anyways, hit me up. Can the higher time frame EMAs be smooth by using input series? So, Bill, the reason the EMAs look like that is actually intentional. So I wrote that because I want to see where the EMA is, the 5-minute EMA is on that 1-minute bar, the exact value. So like when the bar closes, you can see right here when the bar closes, it jumps, and then it does move up and down a little bit after that. And that's intentional because I want to know at the close of this 1-minute bar, where was the 5-minute EMA intra-bar? So I don't really want them smooth because I want to know the literal exact value. Like if I'm going to try and pick an entry at that 5-minute 20 or 50 EMA. So Bill asked, can the higher time frame EMAs be smoothed by using the input series? See, I know we have people from all over in here, but like I said, if you're actually in the Atlanta area and you'd like to meet up, please reach out, and I'd love to make that happen too at some point. Other than that, I think we're finished. I'm going to give one last call for questions in this webinar, but again, you can reach out to me via my website, phone, text message, Skype, or email. If you'd have questions or you want to talk, just get in touch. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's right, Peter. You know what? I think we talked about that. That I've been so slammed with that indicator launch that it's been hard to even keep up in some ways, and then trying to get ready for this today. So now I feel like I can get caught up on some of those conversations. Thanks for reminding me of that. So again, guys, the best offer today is 3 indicators for $9.95, and then just the opportunity to kind of collaborate as a group of traders along with that. So I want to thank NinjaTrader again. Like I said, my livelihood, my lifestyle, and everything like I have to 100% attribute to NinjaTrader and the income I've had writing custom software on their platform. So I'm so grateful for them. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't pick any other platform. So thank you, Tiffany and the team at NinjaTrader, for inviting me to be here today. And man, I just look forward to many more years of this and ultimately continuing to play out my futures trading journey, because that's the most important goal in this for me in developing these indicators, is to crack the markets. So that's what we're doing here. Anyways, I think we're wrapped up. I don't see any more questions. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Peter, Jacob, Tony, Chris, and other guys that have chimed in. Really appreciate it, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Tiffany.
Perfect.
Thanks, William.
Thank you so much, Joel. I'd like to give a special thank you to Joel, obviously, for a great presentation. Everyone in attendance here today will receive an on-demand recording of today's event, so just keep an eye out for that email. NinjaTrader Ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service for our clients. If you find value in these events, we hope you'll attend them on a regular basis. We would like to remind you the information provided in this was of affordable indicators and not of NinjaTraders. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we appreciate the time you spend with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us at NinjaTrader Ecosystem.